Hi, everyone.
Oh, no, you got it.
I know. I'm sorry. You know, I get excited when we're baking. We are back again, myself, Laura, and Vinny, back in the KREM 2 kitchen. We've been promising to come back and do a show for a long time.
So because last time we were here, we were doing heart-healthy recipes. And I think the one we're doing today, I believe, is heart-healthy, but in a different kind of way. It's like more like a fulfilling heart.
Yes, it's more of a fulfilling spiritually, I think. Yeah. I don't know if we're making some cookies today. I don't know how heart healthy they are, but they're sourdough, and we have somebody to introduce who's going to be baking with us.
Yes. This is my good friend here, Delaney Carr. She runs the Bughouse Bakery. Delaney, thank you for joining us first.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Bughouse Bakery.
Yeah, so I run the Bughouse Bakery, which is a sourdough baking business right here in Spokane, out of Brown's Addition neighborhood. And I make artisan sourdough bread and sourdough cookies. I
mean, you had me at bread and then cookies, but it's sourdough. You now become my favorite person.
Had to add that on there. And just got really passionate about making sourdough and trying to provide some sourdough bread and cookies to the community.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit because, and I know we need to get baking here soon, but sourdough certainly became sort of a big thing during COVID and pandemic. Everybody was doing their own sourdough, but it has stuck around because it's so good, and it is a little bit healthier for you in some ways than maybe traditional.
Yeah, definitely. During the COVID pandemic, sourdough really took off, and I was one of those people. That's how I really got into it, and then wanted to continue it beyond being at home. So yeah, it's really great for you. It's easier to digest, so on your digestive system. It's got a lot of prebiotic benefits through the fermentation process. The natural fermentation process builds a lot of healthy stuff for you.
In your gut.
Yep. Yeah, in your gut.
We'll take it, and we like cookies, so we'll take that too, and bread. Okay, Delaney, you are making one of your specialties here today. I know you talked about them.
Oh my gosh, these are some of the best cookies I think I've ever had.
Okay, what are they? Tell us.
So we're gonna make a batch of sourdough chocolate chip cookies and sourdough s'mores cookies. So this is a offering that I do at the Bughouse Bakery.
I know. Oh my gosh, dude.
It's my classic recipes that I've really tried to perfect. So we're gonna get started on making that and show people what to indulge in.
Yeah. And you'll see on your screen right now, there is if you text sourdough to 509-448-2000, you'll get Delaney's order form so that you can just get it right there and you see it and you can get whatever goodies that you want. I know you were talking to us before about some of the bread loaves that you make and how they rotate throughout the season. Can you?
Yeah, so I make 2 sourdough loaves. One is like your classic, typical sourdough loaf. We've got some slices and samples here. And then I also have a seasonal loaf that rotates every couple of months. So try to add some variety to the Bughouse Bakery. Currently, I'm offering what's called the Mantis. It's got garlic and rosemary in the sourdough loaf, so it makes your kitchen smell amazing and is super tasty to have with sandwiches, with pasta, any kind of foods like that.
By yourself, not sharing with your family, sitting on your couch. Okay, just so we keep on time a little bit, you're giving me a job because we're focusing now on the cookies. I need to brown some butter. Is this for the traditional?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So this is for our cookie base. So I'll have you brown
the whole thing.
Yeah, just brown the whole thing. We can get that stovetop going. You'll probably want to keep it on lower heat, just because we want to watch it without it burning.
Okay, watch this. I know it doesn't. How many KREM people does it take to start Here, I'm gonna let Vinny do it. There we go. There we go.
Let it sit for a little bit.
You have to have patience. Not one of my strong suits.
So you're just gonna put a stick of butter in there, and we're gonna let it slowly melt
and brown up.
Yeah, and brown.
Gives it a really rich, nutty flavor, right?
Yeah. If you really want to elevate a cookie recipe, I highly recommend browning your butter. It does take some getting used to, and you'll probably need to find a cookie recipe of how much butter to brown. But it adds this nutty, really strong flavor that can just make a cookie taste better, in my opinion.
I think that's pro tip number 1 today. I just made some cookies with brown butter. It takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Richness, all of that. Okay,
Exactly.
this is my job. And then, Vinny,
Yes,
how are we on time? Are we
I
good?
think we're doing good so far.
Okay.
If there's anything that you also need me to do right now. I know we have some pre-made ones that we have that are in the oven right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna rotate these.
Yep. Rotating cookies, also another pro tip. Some of the ovens, I
never come to think of rotating cookies whenever I make them. But I feel like that's something that I've been missing out on.
Well, and my oven's very uneven. That's how I blame a lot of my mistakes on my oven, but it's true. And so if you have maybe something's not real even, that's a good way to keep it smooth across.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, ovens don't always bake evenly, so it's really important to rotate them
When you can. Yep.
I mean, if you're got like a professional kitchen, you're probably good, but yeah, good to do it at home.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the bread.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna try a piece.
You
if that's
go
okay.
in and you
Yeah,
start
go
making
for
your
it.
cookies. You need to whip up what?
Let's see. Well, so
You're
you're
using sourdough, but you're using not starter, you're using discard, right?
Yes, yeah. So in the cookie base, it's not an active starter, it's the sourdough discard, which is a really valuable thing to use when you're doing the sourdough process. Because when you feed your starter, it grows, it rises, and then when it falls, you quote unquote discard it. But you can still make a lot of things with that discard.
You keep it in the fridge, right? Your
Yeah.
discard, I keep mine in the jar in the fridge, right?
Yeah, I've made crackers, tortillas, scones, muffins. Now we're making
Pancakes,
cookies.
yeah.
Yeah, you can make everything with it. So even if you're maybe not using your starter for bread, you can still use your discard for a lot of things.
And I think it's important to note for people maybe who are watching and thinking, oh, maybe I'll do sourdough, but I don't want a lot of bread. I don't want that. You can make just about everything with sourdough and
Everything.
sourdough.
I've seen someone make
discard.
granola bars, which
Really?
yeah, which I have yet to try, but it's definitely something I guess
Well, we're
people have
offering
made.
to taste anything for you. That's
Yeah.
what Vinny and I do best.
Yes.
I love
exactly.
it.
All right, we are just about to take a quick little break here. We're going to continue the cooking process here. I'm going to keep eating this bread because it's very, very good. And we're going to ask you more questions, kind of just see what else there is about sourdough bread baking that we should know. So we will be right back.
Awesome.
Hello, we are back. As promised, we're going to keep making these cookies with our good friend Delaney here. Laura is
Browning butter.
browning the butter. Very important role here.
Simple job for a simple person.
Yes.
But brown butter, kind of one of the secrets of making your cookies so rich and delicious. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm on sugar duty, so Delaney,
Yeah.
show me again what I'm doing.
So you're gonna put that jar of granulated white sugar into the bowl, and then I'm gonna have you put in some brown sugar
All right,
as
again,
well.
we're testing because you said 100 grams, right?
Yeah, you're good on
So
all
we're
of that.
we're testing the Gonzaga education.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see if I can do this.
Let's see if you step up. All
For
right.
for those who are watching, Delaney and I are actually Gonzaga classmates.
We are,
And
go
we've-
Zach.
Okay.
And we've been friends for
You said for a long time.
what, almost 8 years now?
I think so.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Well, and I
yes.
actually used to sell bread to Gonzaga students when I was a student myself.
So that's how
That's how
you've
this
always
started.
been really baking.
Yeah, it's how it started after I came back to school and really was obsessed with baking sourdough, and started selling to students, selling to friends, and had Vinny was a customer,
about
of
it.
course, and then I had graduated, so I kind of put it on hold, started my day job, and then kept thinking about it in the back of my mind. And moving to Brown's Edition, I wanted to pick it back up again and really be part of the community. So that's how the Bughouse Bakery formed.
And it's got to be a good thing to be able just to like have something separate outside of work to be able to do.
Yeah.
That you're
kinda-
passionate
yeah,
about.
that you're
Well,
passionate about,
it works my creative brain a little bit. You can get fun with all the different flavors that I've done. Making cookies is a really fun, creative way just to kind of unwind. So I've really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good there. I'm going to check on these.
Okay.
And while you're checking on those, talk to us a little bit about if people are interested in trying sourdough. Don't get discouraged easily, right? Because it may not, if you're making your own starter, it may take a while. If
Yeah.
you're making your first loaf, it may not look like something out of a magazine, but it's time. Sourdough is time and love, right?
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
quick about it.
No, it definitely takes some patience with getting the hang of, doing a lot of trial and error, especially with your sourdough starter and then making bread or any other sourdough thing. But yeah, I think sourdough discard is a great way to also get into the sourdough space. Is like, even if you're maybe not using your starter for bread, you can still use it to make other things,
So many other things.
like throughout your life.
And I have ruined many a starter. In fact, I'm currently starterless, and I don't start mine. I just go get starter from a friend or somebody who loves to bake here at the station. And so it's a good way to find out if you really like it and are interested and want to do it yourself. Get some starter for a friend, try it out, see if it's for you, or better yet, order it from the Bughouse Bakery. Always an option too. Okay,
Let's see how it's going over here.
You tell me. I feel like we're
getting close.
We're getting pretty close. To brown the butter, you want it to be almost a caramel color, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you'll start to smell this kind of nutty aroma. And what's happening here is the fat in the butter is separating. Because what happens when you brown butter is it's starting to evaporate. So if you put a stick of butter and it melts and you brown it, it's not a full stick of butter anymore.
It'll be a
It
little
changes.
less.
Yeah.
So beware of that. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to try brown butter in a recipe and not have one that's actually designed for that. Right. Okay. Do you need to get in here?
This one, I think I'm going to do it for you, Vinny, because
oh my god,
because watching it is cracking me up.
oh my god,
it's honestly, it takes. It's a little funky, I'll admit. Love KitchenAid, but this is maybe one of my qualms with the.
Yep. There we go.
Let's see here.
And of course, it always happens when it's on camera.
Yeah, there we go.
And you hear it lock in. Okay, so you need to.
What?
Yeah,
do we
let's
want
check
a paddle
on these.
Yeah, do you want the paddle on it?
We'll put that in once the butter is good.
Why are you rushing things, Vinny? Okay, so are we just? I think we're ready here with the butter.
Great. I'm just gonna set 1 more minute for those cookies, and then I think we're good to take them out. Yeah, we can actually.
Should we cool it a little bit? What would you like?
Oh, let's give it another little stir.
Okay.
Because it's definitely getting amber. Then there's amber, and then it becomes burnt
Brown.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't want to. See, what I don't want is the burnt phase, because then everybody will be like, Laura ruined the cookies.
No, I think we're good. Yeah,
okay. Let's do it.
Let's take that off the
Pour
heat.
it in there?
Yeah, and you'll pour that in.
Okay. Here we go,
Bowl
everyone. All right.
Oh yeah.
So there we go.
Nothing
Get
better than
all
sugar and butter in a bowl.
Yeah.
right. Oh, I mean, it doesn't get better than that, honestly. Okay. There we go. There we go, everyone.
Let me put that on.
Now we're gonna put this on. Now technically you want to cool this butter, but for the sake of time,
For the magic of TV.
yeah, we're gonna.
Now, how did you just over time develop the recipes?
Yeah, I learned from other people, learning from other recipes and what folks have. There's just so many sourdough recipes out there that you can definitely learn a lot and kind of taste or try other recipes. So I made the s'mores cookie sourdough. Like originally it was a non-sourdough recipe, and I made it a
Developed
sourdough
into
cookie.
sourdough.
Yeah.
If as someone who loves to try things, I go on Pinterest like everyone else, right? And it's just like any other recipe making. There's good ones and bad ones. Just try something pretty simple would be my recommendation to get started.
Exactly.
And then go from there, right? Like you don't have to do something very complicated to get that really good sourdough flavor.
All right.
Oh wow.
Come on in here. Nate's behind the camera today.
Should I put on the front?
No, you're good right there.
Let's get a look at those. These are your s'more cookies.
Yes. So these are the sourdough chocolate chip cookies and sourdough s'mores cookies. So what I do, when they come out of the oven, you got to press a square of chocolate. It's probably one of the most satisfying things. And then what I'm also going to do, and this is another tip for home bakers, is if you want a better circular shape of cookie.
Oh, you're like.
Some people use these like circle things, metal things. I don't use that, and I don't think it's totally necessary. You can use a glass or bowl, but I take a spoon and you just roll them out here.
Oh yeah.
That
Same
does
with
make
the-
them look uniform.
That is
That's
a pro tip
tip.
that I
Pro
never
tip.
would have thought of.
I mean, the sourdough cookies, they can look messy. They're s'mores.
Yeah, because and they're still hot enough to where you can kind of like build them out still a little bit.
Yeah, and when you take cookies out of the oven, they're technically still baking, so that's why you want to underbake them a little bit.
Okay.
Yep.
So it gives them the
I just
chewy
read
texture.
something, and it's actually it was a podcast, I should say. It was from a baking kitchen, and it said about 90% of everybody overbakes their cookies because they don't understand they take them out before they're actually done.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Those look so good.
It does look good. It smells good.
I know, we're gonna have to keep our temptations away for that. Okay, so now, I thought I had a spatula somewhere, but maybe it disappeared. But
Are
now,
we spatula-less?
Is it this one?
oh
about
yeah,
this?
perfect. So if we could just push down the sides of that sugar.
So the sugar gets
Okay.
in there and
Yeah.
blended. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then what we're gonna do is add our sourdough discard.
Okay, so again, for those maybe who don't bake a lot with sourdough or just thinking about it, this is the discard. So this is, like she said, once it rises and goes down, you can take the discard, you can put it in your fridge. That keeps for, I don't know, I keep mine for weeks. I don't know what,
you can.
people should do. Might want to read up more on that, but I keep my discard and use it for everything from cookies to scones to pancakes. So this is the sourdough starter. How much do we need to put in here?
We're gonna put 100 grams, so gonna have to take.
And let's talk about that. Because you bake for 4 people and it's a business.
If you could
Measuring is really important in sourdough by weight.
Yes.
Versus we love to use cups in this country.
Yeah,
and,
versus volume.
Yes, and so really weight is the way to go when dealing with sourdough, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can still use cups, like especially if you're following a recipe that has it in cups versus grams, but a lot of bakers use grams when measuring.
I bought a very cheap, I obviously don't do it for business, a very cheap scale online, and it has been worth every cent of it.
Worth
10 times
investing.
over, yes. And so, okay, so you're gonna weigh that?
And if you could take that bowl
I can do
out,
There
that.
you go.
do I want to?
Get it.
Dude, I've never used a KitchenAid before. So.
Honestly, I kind of wanted to see what would happen. So now we're gonna, or Vinny, I'll have you.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna do this
nah,
part
you know
mainly
what? I
because
don't blame you.
it comes out really fast, and you can get over 100 grams really quickly. So I just don't want to.
I don't blame you.
So she's zeroed out, of course. Once she put the bowl on it, she's putting in 100 grams, you said, of
sourdough
discard, and this will give it that tangy sourdough flavor that we all want if you're making sourdough. You want to know. You put time and effort. You want to know that you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then we're also gonna put. I do a splash. It says a certain amount of grams, but we're not gonna do that. So. And then, Vinny, do you want to crack?
Yeah, I can crack the egg.
Well, I only want the yolk. Do you think you can? Are you up for it?
You want me to do it, Vinny? I'm kind of.
I feel like I need to prove myself.
Yeah,
but I
feel-
also don't want to mess
go.
up.
You can do it in here. That way, you
Okay.
just
So
do your
just
thing.
the yolk.
Okay.
Just the yolk. We don't want the white part.
Nope.
Okay.
No white.
And
The
this
yolk's
is
the rich
because
part.
it's moisture.
Yep.
So, also another way to elevate your cookies, especially make them a little chunkier, chunkier. I don't know if that's the right word, but like shape-wise, having less moisture in your cookies is better. So that's why using just the egg yolk.
I have to say,
Nice job.
and it's a tight camera shot, and they got you. It's perfect. Okay, throw it on
throw
in,
it
my
in there.
friend. Nice work.
Oh, the yolk's a
Awesome.
little broken, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
All right, we're gonna actually take a quick break.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep this process going, and then we'll, if we're able to,
Get
cut
them in the
cookies.
oven.
Yeah.
All right.
Put it in the oven. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. We're in the final stretch here of this. I've gone off the KitchenAid duties. I couldn't bear to watch Laura just
I mean,
look
it
at
was
me trying to do
making
it,
me so angsty, and only because I don't want to ruin these amazing cookies that we are making with Delaney
Yes.
from Bughouse Bakery. Okay, so your secret, one of your secrets, which is no longer a secret, is a brown butter.
Yes.
Which we did, and I just threw in, just till it was mixed.
Perfect.
I threw in the the dry mixture, so
Oh,
flour.
perfect.
So now Vinny gets to fold in the chocolate
Okay,
chips.
I can do this.
Okay,
I can
my
do this
friend,
part.
I'm gonna
You can
move
do this part. I'll move this.
I don't need to weigh anything. I just
Nope.
put
Nope,
it in
you're
and
just
I
gonna
fold it in.
you're just gonna put this whole
I can do that.
yeah, there you go. And
we
it's
are
like it's like a folding, not like a mixing. You're like
You don't want to beat the batter because it's already
Yeah.
been stirred.
Yeah.
I watch enough cooking shows. I eat enough cookies, let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
We're baking with Delaney, who makes amazing sourdough breads and cookies that she sells. So you can send the word sourdough to 509-448-2000 to see her order sheet. She's also giving us some pro tips for those who may want to try sourdough making or do some already at home. First, we talked about browning butter, gives it a rich flavor. So find maybe a recipe to try that with. She also talked about being able to use starter. So if you don't want to use or make a ton of bread, there's a lot of things to make with.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your starter. You made your own starter, which is a lesson in patience.
from scratch. Yes.
That is
That's patience.
That is patience.
It took me a whole month to do it.
That is why I just steal starters from my friends, and then when I kill it, I get more.
You get another one.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
starter that's really everything in sourdough comes back to the starter, right?
Yeah.
Did you have to cut them off from the stirring?
Yeah. We
I saw
got
that.
to do gentle folding here.
Gentle,
Okay,
people,
cool.
gentle. Okay, so where are we at in this process? This is your classic sourdough.
Yeah, so this is our classic sourdough chocolate chip recipe.
Okay.
And so now we're going to just roll them into balls, or we could do scoops to make it easier, and then they can pop in the oven. So
Okay,
it's pretty
sweet.
simple from here. Yeah, grab that.
Use this. Okay.
So while you're doing that, because I think that part, a lot of people bake cookies, they know about that. What they don't maybe know is that, because I never knew sourdough came in the form of cookies, right? It never dawned on me until
Yeah.
I started making sourdough that you can make cookies. What do you love making? Obviously, you love the bread and you love cookies. When you're just on your own time, what do you love to make with sourdough?
Oh, I love sourdough tortillas, to be honest.
I've
I
never made
think
those.
they're awesome. I also love making sourdough scones.
Yes.
I'm starting to explore the idea of doing a sourdough baking class to talk about your sourdough starter and make some things with discard, and sourdough tortillas is on that list. So it's definitely something I want to share with others because they're just so tasty. Like, there's nothing like a homemade tortilla.
And let me ask you this, because one thing I did learn, nothing with sourdough comes quickly, right?
No.
You do have to exercise patience. So I only do sourdough baking generally on the weekend when I have some time, which is a good reason to order from somebody, when I don't. But what piece of advice would you give to someone who maybe is thinking about starting to sourdough bake themselves?
I'd say just be gentle with yourself. It's really easy to compare other people's sourdough products to or sourdough things to yours. There's so many photos out there. There's so many people who have an opinion about how to make sourdough, what process to follow, that, just try not to get too overwhelmed with information about it. It's really trial and error and a learning journey, but it's so satisfying and gratifying to make something yourself from start to finish. That requires a little bit more time, but it's so delicious and yummy to eat that I would just say be patient with it and enjoy the ride.
That's right. And remember, all those photos online are doctored. So
Yeah.
whenever I take mine out, I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like Pinterest.
Yeah.
It tastes amazing a lot of times. Okay.
What I want to ask is, for people who are texting us and get the order form, where do they pick up their cookies?
Yeah, so the process is you place an order between Sundays at 11 a.m. and the order form closes on Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Nice.
And then you'll pick up in person that following Saturday at the Roberts Mansion in Browns Edition. It's a super awesome and really cool historical place that I'm really happy to be doing my pickup orders at. And you'll come in person and say hello to me.
A lot of
great.
people talk about starting a side business or doing something that they love, and you've done that. And I think that's worth celebrating, not only sourdough, but that you're doing that. You have this passion about sourdough and baking, and you're making it work. So congratulations on that. We can, proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
She's doing a good job, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me and thanks for helping me make some cookies. I'm excited for you all to try it.
Yeah,
All
It's
right.
gonna be so good. Thank you guys for watching.
We're going to take this from Vinny, and we're going to finish the cookies.
I'm gonna step away. Just look over there.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.